Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the GWE100, the Tier 10 German SPG. This one's located on the northeast corner of Klondike, and it's under the command of Mike1963_1. Now, we haven't featured a grand battle for a while, but I went into one myself just the other day, had a lot of fun. It's 30 versus 30 at Tier 10. Okay, we're off and ready to go. 21cm howitzer, capable of doing 900 alpha, 53mm of pen, and the standard reload is 37.39 seconds. You can see that Mike's got it down to 29.38. Now, the shells, that 261 parked in just the wrong space. You have to watch out because some players are actually using autopilot to start their battles off while they sort themselves out. They've just come out of another game, or they're just getting ready for what they're going to do next. I know that I do the same sometimes. Okay, well, he's ready to go. One mark of excellence. Let's see how he goes. First target, UDES 1516. You can see the enemy does have a few advanced units, including an M60 on that corner. Both disappeared very quickly. Oh, there's the M60. Now, he can get a shot on this one. Rounds out. Oh, he does! Only 166 hit points, but it's a good start. And he gets stunned by the other Arty. I think that may have been the 261. Yes, I'm saying I was in a grand battle myself just the other day, and it was very amusing, actually, the speed at which our team went through the enemy. But I guess that's because most of the Arty players on that game happened to be extremely well active, and they were following the cues that I was putting up as well. I was marking the targets, and it turned out that most of the Artys were all headed for the same target at the same time. And so they were double tapping the target, and of course that was making it much easier for their teammates to actually get kills. It's all a case of using your T key to actually indicate your target to let others know what you're up to. And if you do that, you get two Artys handicapping the enemy at the same time, then you're much more likely to get hit points, because if an enemy gets stunned or wounded, then the other Arty hits them hard afterwards, and that makes it twice as difficult for them to survive. Because especially if an enemy tank is looking directly at them at that moment, then they end up getting splattered from multiple directions. It does mean as well that for the start of the battle, you mostly leave counter battery alone. Don't bother to even try, because it's just too big a battlefield to actually continue to try and counter battery the enemy Arty. You might as well just go for it on as many concentrated formations of enemy tanks as you can. And that's exactly what Mike's doing here. He's selecting the big bunches of tanks all working together, or acting together, because he's more likely to get more damage or multiple damage from one shell. Almost loaded. Bounce out straight away. Hot barrel. Oh! Well, he got the 705, but he stunned two other tanks at the same time. And the IS-4 took advantage of that and got a shell in on the enemy Jaegeru. 445 off that. Unfortunately, that IS-4 is kind of isolated, and he just got hit by a Foch, and there he's out the game now. But it seems the enemy is trying to push through in that area, and that might be their undoing, because they've just got two enemies too many together. Rounds out, and that's a kill. That's a Heshbon, just got penetrated and wiped out. No doubt about that one. Yes, he went down completely. They're trying to get this E4 now. You can see the other Arty are focusing in this area, but nobody's marking the target. They're marking the ground, but they're not marking the target, saying, I'm going to go for that tank. That's where it really helps. Rounds out in 705. He deliberately put that shell behind the target, trying not to stun the E4, but trying to stun and incapacitate the 705. He's going to change position. It's probably a wise decision at that moment, mainly down to the fact that the enemy is headed towards them, and there's not many enemy down on this area of the map, so where he's headed. So he might as well move down here, get into a nice little safe spot so he can continue firing. Okay, he's now sitting between two other Artys. Okay, I'd still focus on the concentrations, but there's nobody spotting the concentrations at the moment, which is why he moved, because they run out of targets. And he just killed the Leopard 1 that was isolated all on his own. So, keeps moving, changing position. The other Artys are now doing the same, so they've obviously picked up. Although he has parked himself on a ramp here, which is actually putting his rear end up and his front end down, and you don't want to do that because that actually does decrease the range of your Arty. Try not to do that in the game if you can help it. Now, work out where the Wizzy is going. He's trying to shoot the mouse, which means he has to come up a little closer to the edge. There he goes. Okay, he's decided to go to the STB instead. Guys coming in. Oh, that was very lucky. 257. Got a kill. I say lucky mainly down to the fact that the guy stopped. And he stopped right on the aim point. And the aim wasn't perfect, but because he stopped, he actually did perfect the aim for Mike. So RNG was definitely on Mike's favour on that moment. Although it was the STB's choice to stop at that point. Why? I do not know. I can only guess that Mike managed to work out how close the STB needed to be in order to see the mouse and get a shot at him. Rounds out on the gorilla. Looks perfect. It is! I got that one right as well. 534. Took out the gorilla. Of course, the rear configuration of the Gorilla 15 is basically one of the types of configuration that the Germans were looking at for Waffenträgers at the time. One of the configurations was the middle gun version, and that's what became the Scorpion. Now, he's having a bit of trouble with the Striv 103B because he's gone out of range. Yes, it doesn't often happen, but in the Grand Battle maps, they are so big that it is possible to get too far away. Oh, and that one would have been good as well. Close to being good, because I think he would have got past that point, but he was wiped out by the pattern. So, yeah, it's a bad day for the GWE-100 on the enemy team. Okay, so we're only 2 up at the moment. But again, now would be a good moment to move because there's no enemy in sight, so there's nothing to shoot at. Make hay whilst the sun shines, as they say. Try and get to a position where you can actually then be ready for the enemy the moment that one comes into sight. It's always difficult to know when you actually can move or should move to get into a new firing position, but it does open the option to shoot at targets from a different avenue, a different angle. Sometimes that works out in your favor. At this moment, he's got a bit of a problem with that clip edge, but he's firing at the position. Oh! Well, he splashed the Wizzy and got a critical hit, and his stun has been capitalized on by a Wizzy 111 Model 5A, and yes, the target did go down. The mouse got him in the end. So he's collected a lot of stun and stun assist. Or a lot of damage from the stun assist, I should say. Rounds out in that spot. You can notice that as well, he is actually hitting the same targets that the other Arty are firing at, but that's mainly down to the fact there are no other targets in sight. Now we're halfway through the match and it's still 15 all. So he's on the move again. I do like the idea that he's actually following this Object 261. The T-92 is getting a little closer to the enemy. Might be a bit dangerous, but This is the safe route. It just means that you've got less likelihood of getting a direct hit if the target's got time to move out the way. Don't want to get too close to that Object 261 though, because you don't want two Arty to be taken out simultaneously by the enemy if they have a scout. Okay, we've got Strip 103B in the forest. Remember that forest? It's got a nice little channel running round the back, and the Striv appears to be trying to get a... He's staying in siege mode, moving very slowly. Had a lot of replays come in for the GWE900 recently. More and more people playing it. I guess that's also down to the fact, or might be down to the fact, that there's the Tiger Mouse in the game now. And the Tiger Mouse is basically the hull of a E900 with a rear-mounted turret for the mouse turret. Of course, the fact is that the E900 was apparently going to be getting the mouse turret eventually. It never got it because the mouse turret actually went to the mouse, or the mice. Okay, he can get a shot if he aims slightly ahead of them. He's giving it about there. Mark the spot. He's loaded. Rounds out straight away. Hot barrel. Nothing shown. Again, we've gone to one of these quiet moments where there's no fighting going on because nobody can see anyone. Our guys are defending our cap area quite well. The enemy, though, they've actually let our guys get, well, alongside it, but not actually in it yet. Nobody's decided to cap, and I think that's wise, because if they did try to cap, I'm pretty sure the enemy would go for a reset and take those people out of the battle. Getting really close to the enemy camp now. I guess the enemy is having difficulty trying to go for the cap because we do have some snipers up there, or rather a FB4005 Heshbon who's looking over that cap area, and if the enemy does make a move, they're going to get hit. They do have a Minotaur and a Bosch 155 of their own, and a Jaegeru, and even a Heshbon of their own. But I think the problem they've got is that if they try to move forward, they're going to get hit. And there's the Bosch 155. Now, can we get a hit? From this angle, it should be possible, even if he tries to get behind that building. He's been tracked. Rounds out. I think that tracking shot came from the Object 261. And it's a kill shot for... Yes, kill shot for Mike. We got that one right on target, and that means the object on our team actually benefited from that shot. Or was it a kill shot, actually? I think it was a blind one, wasn't it? Yes. Okay, we're just waiting for the last seconds. Rounds out in the hedge bomb. Oh, he got him! He didn't stay to look, but he did get him. The note came up saying FB4005 destroyed. So he's up to 6 kills now, Top Gun, and that's the 1 minute counter. So our guys need to get into the cap now if we're going to stand a chance of winning. So these battles are normally 30 versus 30, but I don't think we've got 30 on either side. And they didn't move into the cap, and I think the reason why is there was an enemy tank destroyer nearby. Well, we might be the first one into the cap, or we might not. Minotauro just went down. They've still got a strip 103B. We're putting our gun up, but we're down to just 22 seconds. Okay, he might start receiving fire from the Striv, who's actually over there. He is, yes, he is within firing range. We're getting turned towards him. He does hit us and get a reset, but it hasn't killed us. Now, go for a shot. Oh, we got him! 7th kill. Just as the clock ticked down and a draw. Well, as you probably saw, that was a manual shotgun that he made on the enemy Striv 103B, and he still took him out. The guy was fairly badly damaged, but it was a difficult shot. At quite a long range, actually, for a shotgun. Normally a lot closer than that, but he did get that Striv 103B as the last kill. 7 kills in the end for Mike 1963_1. He got a 3rd-class tanker out of that game, as well as a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 13. His win rate from the game was 3,114, which is, well, Super Unicum standard. It's purple. Let's have a look at the team score and see where he was. Well, the highest damage in the game went to a Hori 3 on our team, who actually did survive, and he picked up a tank sniper and 5,446 hit points. Second highest damage turned out to be the Object 268 on our team, 3,332. And the third highest damage in the game turned out to be the Object 140 on our team, who got a Confederate and 3,296 hit points, but he didn't survive the game. In 4th place, it's actually the 705A on the enemy team. He got 3,215, just beating Mike, who was actually at 3,025. There were 2 players on the enemy team who were higher than he was on damage, and there were 3 members of his own team, so he's actually in 6th place on damage in this one. When it came to kills, though, he definitely got the highest, 7 kills, including 2 really good ones, the FP4005 and the enemy Foch at very long range. I think it was the Foch. Just check that again, which one it was that he hit at very long range. Of course, he hit the Leopard with a single shot, which he turned and fired. Yes, it was the Foch 155. He did get that one. And also he took out the Heshbon. Going back to the team score, we can see the next highest scorer was one of the Artys on the enemy team. The T92 HMC got 4 kills, and 3 kills went to the Hori 3 on our own team. And when it came to base XP, it's Mike. He got 635, the highest base XP in the game. So he got 2 out of 3 in this one. 555 went to the Hori 3. And in 3rd place, we've got the Object 140 with 530. He fired 19 rounds. His barrel was hot in that game. 6 direct hits on the enemy, 5 penetrating shots. And some of those shots were very good. The Gorilla was a penetrating. The Heshbon was a penetrator. The Leopard, I think, was a penetrator as well. And I would not be surprised if the Striv, the shotgun at the end, was actually a penetrating shot, but it isn't actually, funnily enough. So he didn't penetrate that one. It was the Leopard. Yep, he did penetrate him. Got the Heshbon with a penetrating shot. Got the Foch with a penetrating shot. And of course, the Gorilla 15 got a penetrator as well. And that was the one he, it was a nicely aimed shot for the Gorilla. So, very good shooting in that one. Let's go back to the details. 15 splashes as well. 3,025, of which 2,884 were at more than 300 meters. So the Striv was a close shot. He did receive 1 hit. It was a penetrating shot. That was from the Striv. So he paid him back in spades by taking him out in the end. 10 enemy vehicles were damaged, 7 were killed, and 1,753 hit points of stun assist off 11 stuns. On a premium count, he actually made a loss on this game of 4,888 credits, but that's mainly down to the fact that he was firing a lot of rounds at the enemy. He did burn a lot of ammunition, but it wasn't premium ammunition. It was just good old standard HE. He got 5 bonds and he got 952 XP, but he definitely got the top in 2 columns, which means that he is getting better and better at these grand battles. I hope you enjoyed that one. If you did, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.